And a good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, General Manager at WEIU. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Charleston. We're talking about Mattoon Chamber of Commerce. Executive Director, Mr. Ed Dowd.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
Good.
I almost said good morning too, but we're both a little out of it.
We had Doug on last week. We were talking Charleston stuff, and then this week we're going to talk all things Mattoon. I tell you, when you walked in here, you go, how are we going to limit this to 28 minutes today? Because there is so much stuff going on in Mattoon. So I don't know where to begin, but I want to start out with this Bagel Bites thing that kind of came out of nowhere for some of us, and it took off that first weekend. So talk about what Bagel Bites is and how the chamber's involved.
Yeah, so we're I'm on the committee, tourism advisory committee, and the executive director, Angelia Burgett, said, you know what, Bagel Fest does so well, why don't we try something a little different? And they said, maybe have something downtown, because downtown we don't have a lot going on always. And she decided, let's do some mini Bagel Fests downtown. And it turns out we did Bagel Bites. And the first one went fantastic. What they've done is they've opened it up so that people can carry their libations on the streets. They had over 200 cups sold, and they didn't have a single incident. No issues with anybody, rowdy or anything like that. It went really smooth, and there had to be 400 or 500 people downtown Mattoon. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic evening. The next one's June 2nd, so that'll be great as well.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know your big golf tournament's coming up as well.
Yes.
Talk about that, and I know it's an annual event. It's always a big one.
Yes, June 23rd, Friday, we're going to be having our golf outing. Our theme this year is Life's a Beach. And then we're going to have all kinds of events kind of like tied to that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. We usually have about over 100 golfers. We go from noon till 5 p.m. We serve them lunch and dinner, and we have all kinds of fun games on the course. So it's open to the public, so anybody wants any information, they can contact us at the chamber, and we'd love to have them play.
That's cool. Yeah, that's always a fun event. I've golfed in that very poorly, I might add. That's why I threw my clubs away. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know where to want to go next, but let's talk about some of the things that Carolyn Cloyd is doing right now with this new exhibit that's going to come up. And I'm just going to leave it at that, so you can go into all the details.
Oh my gosh!
What she's doing.
Yeah. So Carolyn Cloyd, we were able to get her to join the Coles County Historical Society, and she is a history guru. If you ever want to know anything about history, between her and Chris Zerdick, who I know was on just recently, they are two of the most amazing people in terms of history. And so she created in the Depot Museum, the train depot, and it'll be open from 1 to 4 this Saturday in honor of Memorial Day. We have an exhibit that really highlights Vietnam, but it also highlights all the different wars and all the people in Coles County who served during these wars. It's just a great tribute. She's done an amazing job. And one of the really interesting things that she uncovered relates to EIU.
Yeah, this is neat.
Yeah, so it's so cool. So Major Charles Barksley Hall, he went to Eastern. This is when it was still called the Teachers
College. Yeah.
Teachers College, yeah. Played football on the football team, and he also joined the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
And he was the first Tuskegee Airman and African-American to shoot down an enemy plane. Just amazing that there's a tie to EIU with that. He also received the Distinguished Flying Cross directly from Dwight D. Eisenhower.
And you said Carolyn found a picture of him shaking hands?
Shaking hands with Dwight D. Eisenhower. It's amazing. And she has a picture of him with all the football team and everything. So I don't want to give too much away, but if you guys get a chance, you will be amazed how interesting and how cool it is down there in the Train Depot Museum.
And that one opens May 27th in the afternoon, 1 to 4. Then it'll be open for about 6 months, you said?
Yeah, about 6 months every Saturday.
So people have plenty of time to check it out over the summer and even into the fall time.
Yeah, and even if you want to, you can't make it then, you can just call for an appointment, and one of the Historical Society members will be more than happy to give you a tour.
The other thing that's going to happen in the last day of May 31st, is groundbreaking at the thing we've been talking about for 2 years here. It's finally coming to fruition, is the new sports complex, Emerald Acres. So talk about what we can expect May 31st.
Yeah, 10 a.m. May 31st. It's going to be the groundbreaking for the indoor component of it. Now, the indoor component's about 140,000 square feet. That phase is going to be built first so that they can do all the indoor activities. There's going to be I think there's room for like 16 basketball, 8 volleyball, I think pickleball, all kinds of things. What's neat about it's going to be multifunctional so that you can switch the floor out, from sports to entertainment to conventions to whatever. So it's going to be multifunctional. And then the next component is going to be all the outdoor facilities, which are going to be multiple soccer, baseball, softball fields, and a lot of them are going to be the new kind of turf that's supposed to be really, good for your legs and things like that. So just a fantastic, really, it's a once-in-a-generational thing. They're expecting like 400 to 500,000 visitors a year extra to Mattoon.
Like on this first phase, we call the indoor phase. Now, what is the timeline for that to be functional, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it?
They're hoping that they will have it done, the indoor component, by the spring of next year, by the spring of 2024. Of course, with construction delays, it might be a little longer. And then the next phase, the outdoor phase, shouldn't take quite as long, but they're still saying by the spring of 2025, that'll be done. So the whole component will be done. And of course, as you know, when you get 500 extra thousand visitors a year to your town, you're going to probably get a few, businesses, a few restaurants, maybe a couple hotels. So that is another great component of this.
And I don't suppose you have the right to tell us who's coming yet, right?
No, we can't say for sure. But I can tell you that they have 9 pretty good commitments from different restaurants and retail operations that are very committed to wanting to come to this. So really, really exciting stuff.
Would they come, you think, at the end of the first phase or the second phase, or do you even know? Is that too
Probably
soon?
the in between, some of them, and then some of them probably the end of the second phase. Yeah.
Lots of stuff happening. The other thing, the dog park is up and running. What's the first responses from the dog park?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been there, but the dog park is always packed. It's a fantastic thing. Another thing that the city did, it's kind of interesting. So they've changed out a lot of their fire hydrants, right? And so they're putting the old fire hydrants for the dogs. Hey, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they're gonna plug them in there, and also tourism department's gonna have some artwork that they're gonna put in the dog park as well. So that's all in anticipation of the next phase of the dog park, where they're gonna have dog washing stations. They're even going to have a pavilion where you can use restrooms and things. So it's just going to be a great addition to our community.
Lots
just
of
fantastic. Yeah.
Other things that are happening that events or businesses or after hours coming up?
Yeah. So we have the Dunkin' Donuts, which was talked about for
14 years on this show.
14 years.
No, not maybe not 14.
If you drive by the mall, the Cross County Mall, you will see they're actually got the foundation set for the Dunkin' Donuts, which is fantastic. Defense Depot, which is going to be the indoor gun range and retail facility, they're going to start groundbreaking very soon.
And where's that one going to be at?
That one is going to be across near where Catholic Charities. It's going to be west of Catholic Charities and south of the Rural King Corporate. So it's a little area there. It's going to be great. They have some really neat ideas, really neat things they're going to be doing. And then, of course, the winery, the Warren James Winery, which is Cole and Blake Pierce. Yeah. They partnered, brothers who partnered together, and they're getting very close. They're hoping by, I think, the end of June to have that up and running. So just an amazing amount of things happening in our community, and what's nice is it's all different sectors, so it's all different fun things that you can do and enjoy and really make Mattoon special.
So when you get invited to all the things that you get invited to, where do you start when you go in and say we got so many things going to Mattoon, but where do you kind of begin?
I know it's like that's exactly the point. Where do you begin? There's so many great things happening, like Central Roofing. They moved their corporate headquarters to the old S&K Air Supply. I don't know if you know where that is on Western. That another building that wasn't being utilized and now is being utilized again. A lot of things happening at the mall. Just a fantastic thing. But yeah, so I always tell people you got to give us at least a couple weeks notice to do a ribbon cutting or grand opening, because trying to get it on everyone's calendars with all these fantastic things going on is tough. So it's just, that's a great problem to have, though, as you can imagine.
Yep. Let's go back to some of the chamber. When you represent the chamber, what are the benefits to some of the small businesses that the chamber offers?
Yeah, so a lot of the small businesses, they don't have the time or there may be a one-man shop, or they only have 1 or 2 employees, and they don't have the time to keep track of all the legislation, all the things that are going on. Like we have this one thing that the state requires, even if you have 1 employee, you got to have sexual harassment training for those employees. So, we created that program for them so they don't have to worry about it. When there's different taxes that come down, new taxes or minimum wage, they want to know all those information. We keep up with them. We tell them, hey, make sure you're doing this at this date, because it's really hard when you're a small business to keep track of all that stuff. The other thing is, of course, we really want to promote them. We want to say, hey, shop local, buy local, eat at local restaurants, and use local services. Because really, these are most people's friends and families. They're the people who live with you, live in town. They're trying to make a living. I always say, instead of clicking on Amazon, the button all the time, which, there's sometimes you have to because they don't have it locally. But check first, check locally, because you'll be amazed with some of the different businesses, how many different local businesses there are and what they offer. And it's just such a neat thing to be able to get that personal touch rather than, the computer generated.
And Amazon's not going to sponsor your Little League team.
Absolutely.
Keep that in mind.
That's right.
So the whole concept, we had Doug Abold on last week, and I told him you were coming this week because we had a couple weeks just really to push the shop local. But how do you convince people, you think? Is there a way that you can convince people to shop local?
Again,
or is it just constant, just in their face?
Yeah, again, you just what I always do whenever I'm speaking, in front of a group of people in town, or even when I go out of town, and I always say to people, I always ask them to raise their hands, and I say, how many people have shopped at Amazon this week? 95% of the people raise their hands. They go, how many people checked if they have something local first? And it really I think it really triggers something in their minds that, I didn't take the time to maybe think, hey, shop local. So you just, the other thing we do is we try to offer coupons and things, or specials. We have the Business Expo where these businesses get to showcase what they offer. But, just reminding people that these are your friends, families, and they're the ones who sponsor your sports teams and stuff.
Well, and I think the other thing that I've noticed in Mattoon and even in Charleston some is businesses have acclimated their hours of operation to be available a little bit later on into the evening and daytime on Saturday, so people can actually use them for the 8 to 5 work. 8 to 5, it's tough sometimes to shop. Yeah,
you're right, and that's what we try to convince some of the downtown shops is that you got to have a little bit of off hours, because like you said, a lot of people work the 9 to 5, so they're not going to be able to get out there. So a lot of thriving things are happening in downtown Mattoon, as you know, with the streetscaping and the events like the bagel bites and things. So it's really getting more people to shop all day and even some into the night. So it's very good point there.
What about, I know this is more of a city thing, but the Pocket Park, is it still on task to open up downtown?
Yes, if you drive by there now, you can see they've already laid out all the different features. They've got it all stenciled out, and it's going to be an amazing park. They're going to have water features. They're going to have seating area for Luigi's restaurant, and just going to be a really nice, place to be, rather than having to see an empty place where Shores Jewelers was at one point. The fire was tragic. Luckily, no one was hurt. But the fact that they're going to make it into a pocket park is great.
That is cool. The Business Expo, you just talked about, you beat me to the punch a little bit, but what are the dates and when can people expect?
Yeah, so Thursday, October 5th is going to be the Business Expo. It'll be from 10 to 3. And, of course, the taste of the expo is the best part, because we have 12 to 15 local eateries.
And by rule, the executive director has to try all of them.
Oh,
right?
of course. And Jeff, if you want to come in, you'll want to come and partake, right?
Yeah.
But it's from 10 to 3, and the taste, we've extended the taste because so many people are interested in it. It's from 11 to 2, and like I said, there's usually 15 restaurants, and it's a chance for you to see these local businesses, to meet them if you haven't seen them. And then a lot of the local businesses, we usually have 100 businesses who show up. And these are businesses that people don't always see. And it's a great chance to see what people offer in the community that you might not realize that they have. So it's just a great opportunity. We love for the public to come down and check it out. So
a new small business opens up in Mattoon or Coles County, and they want to get involved in the community. What's the best way for them to do that?
Joining the chamber, we promote them. We put them in our newsletter, which goes out to 700 different business professionals. We try to get a grand opening. We invite all the dignitaries from the community, all the chamber members, so there's 600-700 people who know about their business. And it's, again, we have a lot of them that are opening up, especially with the sports complex coming. So, it's just really exciting time in Mattoon.
Now, who are some of those businesses coming to the sports complex?
I can't say. But let's just say there's going to be some very familiar names that should be coming.
That's a good one.
But you almost got me. Yeah. You almost got me, Jeff.
I knew you were going to say it. You had that look in your eye. The other thing about small businesses and the chamber, social media can be a good and a bad thing. Do you have a part of the chamber that talks to the small businesses about, hey, to control the message about social media?
Yeah, so we always say it's always good to use social media to your advantage, but you got to be careful. You don't want to say anything that might be controversial. We try to tell them, pictures. A lot of words doesn't usually work very well. Pictures and specials and things work great. But yeah, there is sometimes you got to be careful on what you say on social media, as you know.
Yeah. One of the things about your website, the Mattoon Chamber website, there's an About Mattoon.
Yes.
And I think it's one of the best places on there because somebody that's coming to Mattoon, thinking about coming to Mattoon, there's all kinds of links on there. Who is that your idea, or how's that kind of developed over the years?
Yeah. So I can't take credit for it,
But
I could take credit. Danny, who was our former communication specialist, and now, as you mentioned before, Carolyn, who does a fantastic job. Carolyn knows so much Mattoon history and so many great things. We even have links of pictures of Mattoon from the mid-1800s all the way till now, all the different businesses, all the different roads and things. But they just do a wonderful job of keeping up on that and keeping it fresh and letting people know there's a lot of really great things, a lot of things that they don't know about Mattoon that will surprise them if they check it out.
It seems to me that the Mattoon Chamber website and some of the stuff that you do, it's not only about the chamber, it's about the entire community.
Absolutely.
And it's a great place for people to find out about stuff. One of the things I said is one of the treasures of Mattoon that is not utilized enough is Lake Mattoon. Do you know, are there going to be Lake Mattoon events? Is that beach going to be open this year? I know it's not under your area, but
yeah. So they're you always steal from the best, right? Well, I got to tell you, Lake Charleston does a fantastic job, and one of the things that they have that they're going to steal is the kayak.
Yep.
You see where you can rent kayaks and paddle boards and things. They're going to do that. They're also the Alexander Benechek, who's you're going to have on, I'm sure, again. Great guy. He was able to get 8 or 9, I think, AmeriCorps fellows who are going to come in and help clean up the beach. They're going to develop a trail system, just like there is at the Charleston's Lake Charleston, and a lot of great things happen and clean up the beach and get it all ready. But and then John Wurtzba is kind of taken over from the city from that perspective, and they have all kinds of great plans for Lake Mattoon. It's just going to be fantastic as well.
When you do groundbreaking events, I know you get really excited about that. Talk about what goes into those groundbreaking events and how much fun they are.
Yeah, so it's always fun when you have a new business come to town. I always say, and the mayor always says, this is the funnest part of our job, when you get to welcome a new business to Mattoon, all the different people who are going to come there. And, it's so much work on them, and this is kind of their chance to just relax and enjoy the opportunity to welcome people into their buildings or into their business or into their services. So it's just a great opportunity. And again, the people, the hard work they all put in, all the different people, and then for them to just be able to say, boom, we're here, we're ready for you, we're welcoming. So it's just great.
We've talked a little bit about all the different businesses that are opening up at the sports complex. Is there any other things that are happening in town that you can talk about? I heard a rumor about a kids gaming place, or
yes, side-by-side gaming. It's going to be opening on Lakeland Boulevard in the next couple months. Again, what I love about a lot of these new businesses, this building has been empty ever since it was a First Mid-Bank, if you remember, on Lakeland Boulevard.
Oh, on the side there?
Yeah, on the side there. It's been empty for years, So, again, they're going to fill an empty void, which is fantastic. And it's going to be cool. He's going to have the opportunity where people can play against each other in like a enclosed room and things. So a lot of the gamers are really going to love it. I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff, but it was funny, a lot of my old contacts at Staples, a lot of the old techie guys who worked with me, they're all excited about it. So that must be a good thing.
The Eastern kids will love that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And I know there's a little place like that here too. I know it does well.
Yeah.
Other stuff that's happening. I mean, we have about 8 minutes left with Ed Dowd today about things that are going on in Mattoon that you I don't know if you brought any other notes. I didn't want to forget some stuff.
No, well, eventually he's working on it very diligently. Is Villa Pizza? They're going to be taking over the old Brian's Place.
Brian's Place, yeah.
And unfortunately, who is it? Shimmer's Glass. They decided to retire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Donna, and they're going to actually move to North Carolina, but I can't say. But there's another business that's going to be moving into their location. It's a gorgeous location right on Lakeland Boulevard again. I can't say who that's going to be, but that's another great opportunity. Lyft is doing so well. How did you from the chamber assess the first year of Lyft? I think it did fantastic. They had 100 students, and it was just brand new. You can imagine coming out of the gate like that. They were able to get the culinary students started. Next year, I think they plan on even actually maybe opening the restaurant, which will be fantastic. Isn't it just amazing that these kids are going to have to go from buying the materials, cooking the materials, serving the materials, and running a restaurant? Where do you get experience like that? Other than in school and things. And then, like we talked about, the need for daycare is such a huge need, and the fact that they have a operating daycare in that building, and these kids are going to be able to be certified daycare operators. So I know even you have family members who always could use help with people from daycare. So if these kids have actually experienced working directly with kids, it's going to be huge. So
there's the need
a lot of different things.
Yeah, the need for daycare in Coles County is growing. I mean, in total, my wife owns a daycare, and people always come to her, I want to get in next week, and she's like, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, it's just they're backed up. It's a good bad problem to have, but it's not hers. She's not the only one that has that problem. Is that there's just by law and rule you can only have so many kids in a daycare at a time, and a lot of the ones in Mattoon and Charleston are full. So this
is going to be another opportunity for them to get extra people. So if they want to expand, or if these people want to open their own daycare, it'll take some of the burden off of some of the other ones. So it's just great. And also the other neat thing is the computer floors. These kids are going to be certified in, again, I don't know the exact language, but some of the certifications they have, they can start right out of the program locally at $80,000 a year, for a high school kid, having all these certifications in computer technology. I mean, it's just amazing what that's doing for the community.
Downtown Mattoon, the Charleston Chamber, the Mattoon Chamber, if I could talk today, I'm brain locked today, is downtown. And are you glad that it's down where it is? I mean, it's been a couple different places over the years. But do you feel like you're in the heart there?
I absolutely love being downtown. It's right in the heart of the community. The one thing I can't wait is, as you know, they've really done a fantastic job with streetscaping. Yeah. They've done the 1900 block all the way to the 1600 block, and then they're going to do the 15 and 14 this year, and it just makes downtown look so beautiful. There's a lot of neat things they're talking about, adding strings of lights on the tops of the buildings possibly. That's what tourism's talking about doing, and the Pocket Park, and of course, Heritage Park with the bagel bites and things. It's just such a great place to be right in the central location of the community.
You said the next bagel bite is June 2nd?
Yes.
What are the details on that one?
I know one of the Sound City Band, I think, is the last one. I'm not sure who's the next group. But again, the neat thing is all the restaurants, if you go, they were packed, absolutely packed. Yeah. And they sell the cups where you can, again, after you're done eating, you can walk back to listen to the bands and things. And, it's just a great opportunity. And like I said, it was such a perfect night. So many people there. It was a lot of fun. And even the food trucks are there too.
Oh, you said there was 3 of them scheduled for this first year?
Yep.
And then if it does well, they'll maybe expand?
Yeah, they're talking about expanding. They tried it during lunch hour on Fridays. It just didn't really take off that much. A lot of people didn't have the time to, go down.
And it's 100.
Yes, and it's a little warm. So in the evening, it's better, a little cooler. And again, a lot more people are able to attend. And again, being able to stop at the restaurants and get a libation to drink is just a great opportunity.
That's cool that the city did that.
Yeah.
Other things that are happening. We have a few minutes left. Anything else? Any rumors or
nothing real earth-shattering again, but there are some places if you haven't gone to visit, as you talked about with Chris Zerdick and the History Museum,
Yep.
and then of course the train museum. You know, the depot. Again, you want to go visit those locations. Peterson Park. How many different? It's amazing.
Well,
how
they had the big Pride softball event out there this past weekend.
Yes, and there's so many different. It's so great that the softballs come back full speed, and softball and baseball have come back full speed in the park. And there's so many different fun things to see at the park. Just a lot of great things happening in Mattoon. So
there you go.
Yeah.
A few minutes left today with Mr. Ed Dowd from the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce. We talked about the Emerald Acres real quick. You said there's a lot of businesses. Is there still chances for hotels as well? Or are they still working on that aspect?
Yeah, they're talking about potentially.
That becomes really vital, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. They're talking about adding potentially 2 more hotels, 2 more 100-plus room hotels. Because if you think about it, the existing hotels are full a lot of the year.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be places for these people to stay. So, again, just a great opportunity. The other thing that people don't realize is, when you have 500,000 people coming to your area, they're not just going to shop in that area. They're going to shop all of Mattoon. They're going to be shopping Charleston too. So it's just going to be great. It's going to be a regional sports complex.
Oh
not
yeah,
just local.
when you go to travel baseball, you'll go 30 miles away from that home area to do stuff because
Absolutely.
you're looking for things to do for sure.
Yeah, so it's just it's going to be such a great thing. The one thing hopefully it'll lead to is, as you know, going into Walmart, that intersection is just crazy. Hopefully they can expand and open another intersection.
And they delayed the interchange work. Is that the rumor?
They've delayed it a little bit, but it might be going on through part of the.
I got a feeling I'm going to be going the back way to Charleston to work for a long time.
That's funny. A lot of people are saying that the Old State Road and the other one up by Douglas Hart are going to be traveled. Yeah. Western Avenue is going to get a lot of traffic, and Old State Road is going to get a lot of traffic while that's going on.
All right, let's go world famous 8 questions, and then we'll be done.
All right.
All right. The first one's a tough one, Ed. Your favorite summer event locally to attend?
Favorite summer event locally to attend? I gotta stick with Bagel Fest, especially last year. It was so great to see the Elton John impersonator. Oh my gosh, it was great.
Your least favorite pizza topping?
Ooh, gotta be anchovies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gotta be anchovies.
Your morning beverage of choice?
Morning beverage of choice is, I hate to say it, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I'm the old Diet Pepsi.
That's all right. Your favorite Sesame Street character since you're at WEIU?
Oh, my goodness. Favorite Sesame Street characters got to be the Grouch.
Oscar? Okay, there you go. Would you skydive?
No. I am deathly afraid of heights.
No, right. A band you would love to see?
Ooh, it's funny you say that. A lot of our friends just went to Nashville, and there was Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks. I would love to see that concert.
All-time favorite president?
All-time favorite, got to be Lincoln.
There you go. And do you have a summer vacation plan, or is Ed Dowd going anywhere?
We are going to Nashville, actually, coming up this weekend. Wedding and then some events. So,
there you go.
Yes.
Well, Ed, good seeing you again. I think we touched
Always
every
a pleasure.
topic.
Yes.
But that's Ed Dowd. He's from the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce. So you Google them and go to their website. It's one of the best ones around. We are WEIU. Everybody, please have yourself a great day. We'll be back in 2 weeks.